what am I, 31 days in to eating like a hunter-gatherer, and this will be the last of my bear. I did give the other half of it away. This is the second front shoulder of that bear. The two hindquarters I shared away already. So this is the end of bear for me. Just going to clean it up a little bit, and then we're going to do it as a garlic and applesauce bear. So we're going to throw this in the oven overnight, down low, maybe 250, 280 degrees, and it's just going to roast in there with this applesauce. And I'm going to peel some garden garlic and throw that in there as well. This applesauce is from wild apples that I picked a couple of years ago, and I found it in my freezer, so I'm pretty happy to use it up. 2015. And by morning this will be delicious. Nine o'clock. We'll check that in about 9 hours. So this has been in the oven for 11 hours. And here we go, first look. Oh, look at that! Fall off the bone tender. Roasted up garlics. This is gonna be good. That's all it took. A little bit of applesauce, a little bit of garlic, and a long time at a low temperature. No secrets. So it's been about, well, it's been a little while since I concluded my hunter-gatherer diet, which was a 35-day experiment in eating only wild and foraged foods. And you've seen my other 3 weeks of videos, so this is the summary, my final thoughts on that experiment, which I really enjoyed doing, even though it wasn't necessarily easy. So I guess the biggest takeaway was my main goal, which was to see, following the Wilderness Living Challenge, if I could sustain my body weight on all wild food. So our results on short survival excursions of about a week is that our body weight would drop, no matter how much we ate or what we ate. And so, based on similar foods, I kept eating a wild food diet, and I was able to reach a point where my weight stabilized. So after the third week, I had lost 18 pounds, and then my weight was unchanged for the full week following that. So the whole fourth week, I stayed stable at a weight 18 pounds lower than when I started. So I found that pretty interesting, and that was good to hit because I started to run out of wild food at that point. So it was nice to be able to discover that I could sustain myself just at a lower body weight than I normally would on my regular diet. But there were lots of other interesting things that I discovered along the way. So one was that even though I don't really mind to eat a fairly regular diet from day to day, it made a huge difference. To have a little bit of variety got to be really exciting. Some lynx tracks here. So a little bit of spice was very nice, and adding new foods. So my two staples, those got to be a bit much after a while, the beaver stew and the catfish stew or broth or soup that I ate in various forms. It was a very lean diet. I did get a fair bit of fat out of those catfish, I was surprised, and also out of the bear. But I think I would have sustained my weight earlier on if I'd had more fats. And I wasn't eating a lot of carbs either. So it was a very lean paleo kind of a diet. Gave me a lot of ideas about what kinds of foods I would pursue and store and eat on my next very big food experiment, which will be to do a full year of wild food eating. So I've been giving a lot of thought to that. Foods that I'll prepare and save in advance. A few things that I might try and grow. Places where I'll go to get into food that I would need to harvest in abundance. So overall, I think it was a really positive experiment. So I want to give a couple of shouts out to some people who really made that experiment possible. So starting with the Wooded Beardsman, with whom I harvested the bulk of that food during the Wilderness Living Challenge Part 2. And also Delphine, who really added a lot of plant diversity and flavor into some of those foods that I was eating on a too regular basis. So I hope you enjoyed the experience following along on my food experiment. And over the next year, you'll probably see me post some videos on different foods that I'll be trying to capture in abundance. New food sources that I haven't tried before, but that I'll be experimenting with to see if they're suitable as staples in a long-term eating scenario. And that'll all lead up to the big year. You know, and then there'll be other adventures mixed in there as well, such as rabbit hunting, which is what I'm doing right now. Just scoping out this trail behind my property. That's probably going to be really good to set some snares on.